Hey, it's Joe Crump. This next outrageous claim is how to guarantee seller-financed leads pour in every single day. And when I mean pour in, I'm talking about getting 5, 10, 20 leads every day. How do you make that happen? The best way to do that is to use the Automarketer, but to use it more effectively. And we've been developing some new ideas in the Automarketer that I don't yet teach in the Automarketer because I haven't had a chance to make the audios for it. But I'm telling you right here on this video, this is how you should set up your Automarketer if you're using it. On every week on day one, and it's better if you can outsource this, get somebody for $7 an hour on odesk.com to do this work for you. It's going to take them 2 or 3 hours a week to do all this work. If you pay them $7 an hour, it's like $20 a week to do this work for you. So it's really worth doing it because it'll ensure that those leads are coming out. So on day one, let's say you start your week on Monday, they're going to send out an email blast. Let's say that over the last week you do a search and that there's 300 leads that have come up over the last week on Craigslist in the area that you're working. You're going to queue those up. You're going to do a blast out to those, an email blast out to those, asking people if they would sell rent to buy rather than selling it outright. And that email system is going to start trickling out emails. They don't go out all at once. They can't go out or they'll get blocked. So they're going to trickle out 1, 2, 3 every few minutes. Another one's going to go out. So it's going to take them a day or so to go out. At the same time, you're going to send out a text blast to that same list of everybody on that list that has a phone number. And you're going to send a text blast out there that says, would you consider selling your home rent to buy rather than, selling it outright? And that's going to be texted to all those people. And that's going to go out instantly. And within minutes, you're going to start getting responses back. Typically, we get anywhere from 10 to 30. I've had 70% response rates. But let's say you only get 10 to 20% response rates on those. You're going to get a lot of calls coming back. Some of them are going to be positive, some are going to be negative, some of them are going to be downright abusive. But you're going to get calls back from those people or texts back from those people, and those are the people you want to talk to. So that's going to happen also on day one. So make sure you're around and able to call these people back as soon as they call you. So let's say you set it up with your admin person to do this at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Monday, and that's where you're going to start your week. So that's the first batch of leads that you're going to get, and you got to work your way through those leads over the next couple of days. On Thursday, you're going to do it again. All this time, you're going to send them a voice blast, the same list. So you're going to queue up the same list, and it's going to go out on Thursday to the same people, but now you're going to just hit them in a different way. So now you've hit them with email, text blast, and voice blast. It means you're going to get a little bit more blowback from them about people that, hey, quit calling me, but you can put them on a blacklist. We have a blacklist in the system. Just type their number in there. It'll never call them again. So you can take those people off. You just have to be able to put up with a little bit of people that are disappointed that you're calling them. So on Thursday you're making another call, and this time it's a voice blast. Now that is something you want to do every week and have your admin person do that for you. Now, the following week, you're going to start again on Monday with the previous week, and you're going to do the same thing with the next batch of properties. But you don't want to give up on the ones that you did for this week. And it won't call the same, if the same people advertise on subsequent weeks, it's not going to keep calling them every time. They'll only call them once a week. It'll only text them once a week. That's the most you can do in the system. We set up those safeties so we don't keep hammering people with multiple phone calls or text blasts or email blasts. So on week 2, with that same previous week's leads, you're going to send out another text blast, except this time you're going to send them, say, I'm interested in buying your home, rent to buy, and please look at this link. And you're going to give them a link in the text blast to your rent-to-own seller's site. This is part of the clone site system that's part of the Automarketer that it sells them on the idea of working with you and giving you control of the property and letting you go out and fill that property with a lease option buyer, working as a principal in the transaction and flipping that property and making $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, whatever, on that particular deal using the for rent method. And that's the offer that's going to go out to them. Let's say that goes out on Tuesdays, and that's the follow-up of not just that week, but every week before it as you start to build your system. So eventually you're going to have a bunch of those going out. If you've got, after you've done this for a month, it means every Tuesday you're going to have a whole month of follow-up with people that you've already hit, for the first week. So I know it's getting a little complicated, but try to follow me here. And then on, let's say on Friday or on Saturday, you're going to send a text blast again to that same people, except this time you're going to send them an email or a text blast that has another link in it. And by the way, the first link, if you want to look at the clone site that you'd send them to, my version of it is buyersforyourhouse.com. Each person who's using the Automarketer has their own clone site, so they have their version of that. And then the next one that goes out will go to wewillbuy.com, and all it is I'll make an offer on your house, in 24 hours, and that page sells them on the idea. So we hit them in different ways with different messages that they might be able to do. We've got another website that you can also use that is for subject twos, where you can send them out a link to that shows them why they should sell their property subject to the existing loan. And so you send it out to all these different things. If they fill out the forms on those web pages saying, yes, I'm interested, then the likelihood that you're going to be able to close those deals is very, very high. Unless you're just not any good at this, but hopefully by then you'll be getting better at it. But as you get those leads coming in, those leads are going to be emailed to you. They're going to go into your autoresponder, and you're going to be able to hear back from them. Or they might just call you back and allow you to make the offer to them over the phone. So that's the process that we use, and you can go through that process, and you can then repeat it again, after that. So now you're hitting these same people over and over and over again every week. With another text blast, another voice blast. If you want to, you can, the people you've hit for quite a while, you can separate those and maybe hit them every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. You just have to set your databases up properly so that you can do that. And the system is actually set up so that you can filter by date. So you can pick the dates and how many times they've been called and all that stuff, so that you can find the exact group of people that you want to send to and do the follow-up with. When you have this kind of system set up and you've got somebody who's implementing it for you, all you have to do is lay it out for them. And then once they're implementing it for you, you're going to have so many leads, you're not going to be able to follow up. And what I find happens with a lot of people who are using the Automarketer is they turn it off. Because they're getting too many leads and they can't follow up, and they feel like they're wasting money, which they are, on leads that they can't use. So they may at some point have to shut it down, or you hire somebody else to help you make those calls, and they do the two-step process. And then once you do that, then you expand into another state and another state and another state, where you're doing 5 or 10 or 20 states at a time, or cities at a time on Craigslist, and you just have to get more Automarketers. You can do up to 5 cities in one Automarketer account. Although a lot of people, since they have different people calling, they buy multiple Automarketer accounts, one for each of their telemarketers. I know that can be more expensive, so you only want to do that if you're making money at the beginning. Maybe have 1 or 2 cities that you're working in, and then expand from there. All right, hope that helps.